In the forested north, where the mists lingered between ancient trees and the air was thick with the scent of pine, a land of mystery and legend took shape. Long before the idea of Sweden was born, this wild landscape was home to rival peoples whose destinies would shape the future of Scandinavia. The Geats of Gotaland and the Swedes of Svealand stood out among these tribes, each led by proud chieftains, each with their own customs, beliefs, and ways of life. Their world was defined by deep, shadowy woods, sparkling lakes, and rugged, wind-battered coasts, a landscape that demanded resilience and forged a fierce, independent spirit in its people. The Geats, immortalized in the epic tale of Beowulf, were known for their bravery, and their legendary halls, where stories of heroes echoed through the night. The Swedes, meanwhile, were centered at the sacred site of Gamla Uppsala, where their chieftains presided over grand ceremonies and ancient rituals. Both peoples were skilled seafarers and formidable warriors, their longships cutting through icy waters as they traded, raided, and sometimes clashed along the coasts and rivers. Unification was a slow and uncertain process, as powerful chieftains fiercely guarded their independence and vied for supremacy, forging alliances and rivalries in smoky wooden halls. Early kings struggled to bring these proud peoples under a single rule, their authority often challenged by ambitious nobles and divided assemblies. The first Swedish federation was fragile, held together not by laws or armies, but by the charisma and cunning of its rulers, who worked tirelessly to unite the tribes. By the 11th century, the Swedes began to gain the upper hand, their influence spreading across the land as their kings led warriors into new territories. Gradually, the kings of the Swedes extended their rule over the Geats, forging a new unity as banners merged and old rivalries faded into memory. This union laid the foundation for the medieval kingdom of Sweden, a realm that would grow in strength and ambition in the centuries to come. From the merging of Geats and Swedes, a new nation was born, one with a shared destiny, rising from the mists of the Viking Age to become the Sweden we know today, its roots deep in the ancient forests, and its spirit shaped by the struggles and triumphs of its earliest peoples. As Sweden became a kingdom, a violent struggle erupted between two dynasties, the House of Sverker and the House of Erik. For over a century, these families fought for the throne, each king's reign often ending in assassination. The Sverkers drew support from the east, the Eriks from the west, and their rivalry plunged Sweden into civil war. Denmark frequently intervened, fueling the chaos to keep Sweden weak. Endless battles and shifting alliances devastated the land and its people. After nearly 100 years, both houses were exhausted, unable to secure lasting victory. Their mutual decline ended the era of dynastic dominance. From this turmoil, a new dynasty would rise, bringing hope for stability. Unlike much of medieval Europe, Sweden never fully embraced feudalism or serfdom. Most Swedish farmers remained free, owning or renting their land, and played active roles in local governance. The country's vast, rugged landscape made central control difficult, fostering independence and self-reliance. Nobility, or frelds, gained status by providing cavalry for the king, earning tax exemption through personal service rather than land grants. This created a warrior class tied directly to the crown, not to feudal lords. Swedish society remained more fluid, with less rigid class divisions than elsewhere in Europe. The free peasantry retained influence, balancing the power of the nobility and the king. This unique system shaped Sweden's political development. The voice of the people, though sometimes faint, was never entirely silenced. In medieval Sweden, kings were elected by powerful nobles and chieftains, not simply born to rule. The thing of all Swedes at Uppsala was the Grand Assembly where freemen acclaimed their king. Nobles could also depose rulers, often through violence or rebellion if their interests were threatened. This elective monarchy created constant tension between the crown and aristocracy. Dynastic struggles, like those between Sverker and Erik, depended on noble support and intrigue. The magnates were the true kingmakers and kingbreakers of the age. While this system checked royal tyranny, it also bred instability and conflict. Only with stronger rulers did Sweden begin to move toward a stable hereditary monarchy. Amidst the swirling chaos and shifting allegiances of early Sweden, a handful of rulers emerged, some shrouded in legend, others firmly rooted in history. These kings and leaders were more than just figures on a throne. They were the architects of a nation, shaping the destiny of the land through war, faith, and law. Erik the Victorious, who ruled in the late 10th century, is often celebrated as the first true king to unite the Swedes and the Geats. His reign was marked by decisive action, most notably his victory over a Danish invasion at the legendary Battle of Fyrisvellir. This triumph not only secured his rule but also set the stage for a more unified Swedish realm, bringing together rival tribes under a single banner. In the following centuries, rulers like Sverker the Elder rose to prominence. A devout Christian, Sverker sought to bring peace to a land often torn by conflict. He championed church reform, encouraged the spread of Christianity, and worked to stabilize the kingdom, yet his efforts were cut short when he was assassinated in 1156, a stark reminder of the dangers that came with power. Sverker's rival, Erik the Saint, became a symbol of both faith and justice. Revered as a martyr and later Sweden's patron saint, Erik is remembered for his attempts at lawmaking and for leading a crusade to Finland. While much of his story is wrapped in legend, his influence on Swedish identity and religious life is undeniable. These early rulers faced the constant challenge of balancing the ambitions of powerful nobles with the need for unity. Through strategic church patronage, forging alliances, and introducing new laws, they gradually transformed Sweden from a loose collection of provinces into a more cohesive kingdom. The most transformative figure of all was Birger Jarl, who served as regent in the mid-13th century. Birger was not just a skilled leader but a visionary, determined to bring lasting order to Sweden. He ended the long and bloody Sverker-Erik Wars, secured the crown for his son, and established the influential House of Bjälbo. Under his guidance, the royal family became a stabilizing force, and the monarchy gained new legitimacy. Birger Jarl's legacy is perhaps most visible in the founding of Stockholm, a city that would become the heart of Sweden. He enacted groundbreaking laws, replaced Viking traditions with medieval order, and oversaw the transformation of Sweden from a land of warring chieftains to a unified kingdom. Through his leadership, Sweden was unified as never before, laying the foundations for a medieval kingdom that would endure for centuries. Thanks to the vision and determination of these legendary rulers, a patchwork of provinces and rival clans was forged into a single nation. Their actions set the stage for Sweden's future as a powerful and unified state. Today, their legacies echo in Sweden's enduring identity, reminding us of the kings and leaders who shaped the nation's destiny. Reconstructing early Swedish history is like assembling a puzzle with missing pieces. Contemporary Swedish chronicles are scarce. We rely on Icelandic sagas, Danish chronicles, and papal letters, sources that blend fact and legend. The sagas, rich in drama, reveal Norse values but often prioritize storytelling over accuracy. Legendary kings like Erik the Victorious blur the line between myth and reality. After Erik the Saint's death, miracle stories promoted his sainthood and his family's claim to the throne, obscuring the real man. Archaeology offers physical evidence, fortresses, graves, battle wounds, but can't reveal motives or alliances. Each discovery adds a fragment, but the full picture remains elusive. Sweden's early history is a tapestry of legend, faith, and scattered facts. We glimpse the past through whispers, not a clear voice. Medieval Sweden was forged in conflict, not negotiation. The land that would become Sweden was a patchwork of rival clans and ambitious warlords, each vying for dominance. In these turbulent centuries, power was won and lost on the battlefield, and the fate of the nation was decided by the sword. The legendary Battle of Fyrisvellir in the 980s saw Erik the Victorious secure his rule and lay the foundation for Swedish kingship. This epic clash was not just a struggle for the throne, but a turning point that united scattered territories under a single ruler, setting the stage for a unified kingdom. The civil wars between the Sverker and Erik dynasties were marked by decisive battles like Lena and Gestilren. These brutal confrontations saw the Eriks triumph and the Sverkers fall, but they also left deep scars on the land and its people, shaping the political landscape for generations. External threats also shaped Sweden's destiny. In 1187, sea raiders devastated Sigtuna, one of the kingdom's most important towns, exposing the kingdom's vulnerability to foreign attack and reminding its rulers that unity and strong defenses were essential for survival. This shocking attack spurred the founding of Stockholm. Birger Jarl, a visionary leader, built a mighty fortress to guard the vital waterway, determined to protect the heart of the realm from future invasions and to secure Sweden's place among the powers of the north. Stockholm's strategic location, nestled between lake and sea, quickly became the heart of the kingdom. It was not just a military stronghold, but a symbol of Sweden's resilience and ambition, a city that would grow to dominate the region. Each battle and raid forced Sweden's rulers to adapt, defend, and innovate. New tactics, stronger fortifications, and a spirit of unity emerged from these constant challenges, as leaders learned to anticipate threats and rally their people. The kingdom's resilience grew from these crucibles of war. Warriors and common folk alike were hardened by adversity, forging a collective identity rooted in courage, sacrifice, and determination. Through blood and iron, Sweden emerged stronger and more unified. The lessons learned on the battlefield became the foundation of a nation that would endure and thrive. The nation's identity was forged on the battlefield, where bravery and unity transformed a land of rivals into a proud and enduring kingdom. As Sweden unified, its rulers looked east to Finland, driven by religious zeal, ambition, and trade. The church framed these campaigns as northern crusades to convert pagan Finns, but conquest and control were key motives. The legendary First Crusade, led by Eric the Saint, is likely myth. Real expansion was gradual, through missionaries and soldiers. Later crusades under Birger Jarl and Torgils Knutsson established Swedish rule in Tavastia and Karelia, securing trade routes and a buffer against Novgorod. Castles and towns rose, and a Swedish-speaking elite took root. For Finland, this meant centuries of integration into the Swedish realm. The bond between Sweden and Finland, forged in conquest, would endure for over 600 years. The dynastic wars left Sweden weakened, paving the way for the House of Bjelbo and its architect Birger Jarl. Birger, ruling as regent, ended internal strife and established a strong central government. He enacted laws protecting homes, churches, courts, and women, moving Sweden toward justice and stability. After Sigtuna's destruction, Birger founded Stockholm on a strategic island, controlling trade and defending the heartland. Stockholm quickly became Sweden's commercial and political center. With a hereditary monarchy and unified administration, old rivalries faded. A common legal code bound the provinces together. Stockholm became the true capital, symbolizing unity and strength. By the late 13th century, Sweden had transformed from fragmented tribes into a stable, unified kingdom. The nation was ready to take its place in medieval Europe.